He wants me to go over RWBY for some reason. Like this has been requested multiple times that I go over fucking RWBY. Uh, I read through the game. I don't hate it. That's the I think that's the most amusing aspect of it all is that I do not actually hate this game. Even though like I feel like I should. I think the people were wanting me to hate it, but I really don't. I think it's actually pretty decent. So we'll give it a little bit more time to let people stream in if they want. We'll give them another 2 minutes, let's say. But why are we doing franchise games? Why are franchise games so important? Well, franchise games are important for two very distinct reasons. One, it's kind of an immediate thing that people recognize and immediately are going to cling to. Oh, hey, it's RWBY. I like RWBY, therefore I will like the game. Oh, hey, it's Stalker. I like Stalker. I will like the game. Oh, hey, it's Ice and Fire. I like that. And the previous franchise games we went over were things like Bionicles, Can Cole, Kantai Collection, same thing, and Toho, Toot Toot. Those are all games that immediately people like, hey, I like this. And franchises allow people to really explore different settings that they like. There are dozens of franchise games out there, and even among some of the ones that I've managed to acquire over time, we have things such as, put you over there for a second, the Armored Troopers Bottoms RPG, which is a massive game. This game is 176 pages and is fucking huge because it's all artwork from the show and from the shows and such. You also have things like the Starship Troopers RPG, which is more akin to the books and movies at the same time. Very weird, but it's interesting, like the pure extent of what people will go to make their ideal game. And these are professionally made games too. These aren't just some homebrew. RWBY is a homebrew. I will say that though. That's my one caveat there. But games are important. Franchises are important to games because arguably that's where a lot of things get popular from. I want to run my Lord of the Rings game. We'll use the One Ring, which is getting a second edition, I think. Soon, TM. I want to run this. You know, people immediately say, I want to run this. And people want to try to run it in some games. So it's like, well, why not? Bubblegum Crisis, by the way. This is Fusion, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the 90s saw a massive amount of... Oh, wait, no, this used Cortex, didn't it? What do you use? Wait a fucking second. God damn it. Yeah, it's Fusion. Yeah, like, you have a lot of systems that were even built for that, which I find fascinating in more than a few ways. But we're going to go over three. Three very unique games in their own rights. Because they're not... How do I word this? They are not quite completely adherent to their franchise. Let's just say that. Or what we think their franchise is. So, the first one we're going over is RWBY, the unofficial tabletop RPG. Now, for those who don't know, RWBY is a media franchise at this point, I guess, by Rooster Teeth, which is a massive fucking company at this point. I didn't realize how big Rooster Teeth was. It was made by a man named Monty who did a bunch of animations back in the day. He's dead now. So, that's fun. You also have a lot of... there's a lot of fucking people involved in this. Like, you can even kind of see over here, there are a bunch of writers, there's a few directors, there's a lot of voices. You know, this is not a small project. And you can even see, like, look, all of these things. You have all the books. Yeah, there's books. Why are there books? Who the fuck knows? because it's a media franchise. You have all the RWBY stuff. You have all the musics. These were the guys who did Red and Blue, mind you. Red versus Blue. You gotta remember that key part of things. These were the guys who did Red versus Blue, and they made this massive, weird anime thing. I knew absolutely nothing about this franchise. At all. Literally nothing. I thought it was I remember distinctly back in the day when, we had a tiny notepad. His friend dragged him into the locker room and was like, you gotta watch this video. I'm like, all right. I watched the Red trailer like everybody else has, and you're probably pulling it up right now, and said, wow, this is pretty neat. Then, unfortunately, the voices came. And then when the voices came on, I'm like, I'm not in anymore. That was before Volume 1. There are 8 volumes now. This is a massive fucking franchise, and I find that fascinating. However, RWBY, the unofficial tabletop RPG, is a lot bigger than that. And this is like one of the main reasons why I think people want me to talk about this more than anything, because this game is massive. Now, I'm on the wiki right now. This isn't the real wiki. Nor is it the fake wiki. Because there are so many different versions of this game floating around that to get the most accurate version of it, you need to actually go to the Reddit, and this is the most accurate version right here, which is 20.7.25. I was working on one from about 5-6 years ago originally, and as you see, like, oh, first time running a game, oh, a month ago. This one was updated 11 months ago, which I find a little bit strange. Like, it's been about a year before we've seen any kind of development outside of this. So, obviously a lot of things got changed for it. This is going to be entirely based on this version. I don't know any of the previous versions at all, so that's why I'm not going to really deal with it. Now, this sub was created in 2014, if I recall correctly. The original book, this is the original version right here, was made in, it says 2017, that's not right. But this is also a Google Doc version. Like, these books go back quite a ways. Actually, let's check. Does this book actually have a date in it? Because some of them don't. That's the funny part. Some of them actually do not have any dates or anything. So no, this one doesn't. Let's do a little bit of digging, shall we? Now, this wiki isn't actually updated at all, because this is the most recent version, 19.6.30, which isn't accurate, because this isn't the most updated version. I also hate this line already. The system is extremely conducive to the Sir Barringtons of the world. Yeah, Sir Barrington. Remember that game? It's great. Remember all those funny TG memes? Let me see. Unofficial. See, yeah, no, this isn't anything. So, no, it can't hurt me. All we know is that it's by a man named Andrew Diederich. And looking around on him, Andrew died. Diederich. Shows absolutely fuck all. This isn't Fun fact. This isn't anything. He's not a real person. So kind of looking a little bit further in, I wonder if we can find anything. Rooster Teeth Productions. No, this is actually, let's go to credits real fast. Now, I like doing this because it gives you a good idea of what the human being behind things is. He does actually have a Patreon. Give me 1 second as I pull that up real fast. Because of course there's a Patreon. Why wouldn't there be one? Now, we don't really have much to go off of here. It's literally the EnderOfThings. He makes 107 bucks per creation, which is pretty much per game. And this is it. Digital PDF. If you were to be released conventionally, future published updates. This is it. Yeah, this is the most recent thing. He hasn't updated jack shit in about a year. This is it. Welcome to our person, our individual behind the game. Fascinating. Now, one other thing, he does mention Monty in this. And what are some other things that I can... Anything else I can find? No. No, I can't. Okay, let's go all the way back up. So, RWBY. The unofficial tabletop RPG. Now, this game is actually a dice pool system. This is I believe it is a D10 plus D6 dice pool system, which sounds a little bit odd, but it also kind of works. Here's your character sheet. Wow, you may be saying, there's a lot of things here. It also looks like it was made in fucking Publisher. And the answer is, yes, it was probably made in Publisher. I think it looks fine. It's better than most of mine. In fact, that's all I can really say to that. However, let's look at what this idea is. So, this is the world of Remnant. I don't really give a shit about it. Like, I looked at lore video. I literally had to do, like, background lore video. Like, background videos on RWBY. And this is the most boring thing. Even though there's all this cool stuff going on with it. As presented by Rooster Teeth, and as presented, it's not really that interesting. Now, this is one of the key ideas is, this is not the way you think it is. Because this game is not RWBY. Now, let me bring up my handy dandy Notepad document. I'll give you a good idea. This is not RWBY, quote unquote, official. This is RWBY unofficial. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that canon is a meme and nothing makes sense, and you don't need it. You don't need to know the world super well, but you also do to understand all the fanon. Because that's what this game is really supporting, is fanon. You know, kind of that fan canon, effectively. And there's nothing wrong with that. Which, from what I've gathered, the fan canon of RWBY is infinitely better than the not fan canon. Which, take that as you will. So, going through here, American anime created by Monty Oom. Yeah, American anime. It's not. And one of the big thing is that this game uses the Rule of Cool system, which, if you look at the Rule of Cool system elsewhere, I actually thought this was kind of like already a game out there. It's not. The Rule of Cool is quite literally made for this game. However, it's a trope. The idea of do cool things. That's pretty cool. In its own way, I mean, more power to the guy for making his own custom system. That's my thing. So, let me see. Social experience. You have your very basic thing here. We all know it. We all know how to do things. This isn't very shocking. So, the rule of cool system, need pencils, papers, dice, blah, blah, blah. When referring to dice variety, the dice term number D number will be used a great deal. They explain literally everything here. And so the idea is the minimum requirement are 2d10 and 1d6, but this will quickly become inadequate. It does not require the use of a battle grid as the case of many other tabletops, but a spatial reference is often helpful. You kind of need to use grids, by the way. Each player except the GM begins with 2d10. The GM will never need to roll any dice. These first 2 dice are marked to be a different color than any other dice. They are natural dice. If the character attempts an action, they will roll a skill check. Effectively, it's a 2d10 system. It's a 2d10 plus whatever your attribute is. That is what the game is. Seems pretty simple, and everything is based off 2 attributes. So, for example, character rolls strength plus agility. For an acrobatics check, strength 4, agi 1, 2d10 plus 5. Boom, done. Not exactly complicated. Doesn't need to be complicated, though. Things get a little bit stranger as things go on, though. When the first 2 natural dice can be critical success, games continue. The player's pool of dice will increase from 2d10 to 3d10 to 4d10 and so on. It's like, oh no, something is happening now. Then you have things like damage. I'll roll skill check for the accuracy. They roll damage. Damage is usually starts at 1d6, can be further modified. All the weapons do d6 damage naturally, but you may be wondering, Notepad. Thank you, Air Stealer. Thank you for understanding. You are like me in that regard. I'm like, yeah, let's do RWBY. This seems like fun. I watched the first trailer, and you're probably watching it again as we speak. And then, like, the first words came out of the mouth. I'm like, no. No. This game actually is, like, pretty good on that regard, because, again, no one speaks. Thankfully. Now we come to the gimmick. The rule of cool. Rather than read you all of this, the idea is pretty simple. If you do something cool and the GM likes it, you add a rule of cool dice to the pool. The rule of cool dice adds 1d10 to everybody's roll. Pretty cool. It's completely GM driven, whether or not something is cool. The only automatic way of generating a rule of cool is rolling a natural 20. Pretty much you have to roll two 10s on your 2d10, which is if I recall correctly, it's about a 5% chance. Actually, not even a 5% chance. Like, it's not... Yeah. Rule of cool remains for every player until a natural 2 is rolled. If the player's actions stagnate at the end of the scene, players lose cool as a team. What does this actually mean in terms of gameplay? It means you have a thespian, make sure that everyone is having fun, because the entire system is based around this rule of cool. If you have a GM who likes you, you're going to be able to get those dice easier. You're going to be able to kind of ramp up your power level pretty quickly. If you have a stingy GM, things are going to get a lot harder. It's the exalted stunt problem. Yeah, you can spend every attack saying like, oh, well, I hit them, and then I flip into the air, and I do a triple axle backflip, shotgun raid, while playing my guitar or what the fuck ever. And GM's like, that's awesome, I'm going to give you more dice. But then everyone wants to do that, and it slows to a fucking halt at points. And sometimes you're just like, let's just kill the enemy. But it's like, no, gotta build up that cool, gotta build up that cool, because you need it to play the game. Now, this is actually one of the aspects. I don't hate this system. I actually quite enjoy it. That's the weird thing. I actually quite enjoy this system. The problem is that it's a main system, is like a fundamental main thing in the game. And because it is a fundamental main thing of the game, oh god, it's Mother May I. I usually don't like those kind of mechanics. Because again, it is entirely based around, does your GM want to play ball with you? If your GM doesn't want to play ball, well, fuck me, I guess. GM wants to play, ball, cool. Everything's going to go great. It's really dependent. So you can play the exact same way with two different GMs and get different results. I am not a huge fan of. But good idea if it was like a side mechanic. But it's kind of the, name of the system. That's the catcherino there, mateys. Trying to get like music exactly right. Let me see. So character creation. Character creation is actually pretty simple. Now your heritage actually means literally nothing. Yeah, where you're from means absolutely nothing unless you use a side rule, which is also the same side rule to have proper leveling. There's quite a few attributes with things, if I remember correctly. Let me see. These attributes. Oh yeah, you have to break it up into 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is it's a stat array, nice and simple. I like it. It's thematic. It works. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Cool. Split it however you want. Then we have all the quick references. Now, as you can see, this is the combat quick reference sheet, not anyone else's quick combat reference sheet, because all of these attributes are mostly about combat. And one thing about this game is, like the series, the first few seasons anyway, it is all about leading up to that combat scene. It has some very strong JTRPG influence. I can tell you that much right goddamn now. And that's okay. I like JTRPGs. I think they're fun. I think they're really cool. You just have to temper those expectations. Because if you go in there thinking that it's not going to be that, you're going to have a bad time. Let me see. Yeah, it's... Now our resources. Health. Pretty standard. This is where things get into what I like to call capital word syndrome. Capital word syndrome is when a book or a show or something starts throwing big words at you or that are capitalized. And they are specific to that world. Sometimes they don't actually explain them all that well. Aura is one of them, which, if you know the show, Aura makes a lot of sense. If you don't know the show, it's like, okay, all right, this is a thing now. Yeah, capitalize, exactly. Aura is effectively your soul shield. And once it's 0, you cannot use your semblance, which is your magic, but isn't magic, by the way. Yeah, this is where things get weird. Your capacity represents the total amount of ammunition you can carry. Pretty simple, because everyone has a weapon, and that weapon is also a gun. Now, semblance is not magic. However, it is magic. It is the physical manifestation of the soul. Every huntsman or huntress has a semblance unique to them, and used at will. What this means is nobody fucking knows. You can have a semblance of anything. And in the show, even, they have, like, a bunch of weird semblances that even to this day they change. Oh, what's your semblance? Polarity, I believe, was one of them. There was, the yellow one. She gets mad when she gets hit, but it got changed, like, 5 times. I watched a 2.5-hour fucking video on RWBY to get ready for this. And it's like, oh, cool. That's neat. It's like using your semblance. This is literally your superpower that is non-defined and completely up to the GM of whether or not it works the way you want to, which is another one of those, like, God damn it, yeah. One step forward and then you fucked it up again. God dang it. Like, a lot of them are pretty, like, very low will. They even say, like, yeah, Ruby doesn't even worry about it because she shouldn't need to, because that's not her thing. Oh boy, I can link and summon and use telekinesis and teleportation and transformation and all these other cool things. you'll get that a lot through Ruby. That's kind of summarizes Ruby a little bit too well. But it's this entire section is believe that your GM likes you. Your GM likes you, you can put in some stupid combos and be like, yeah, I'm a super speedy automatic execution man who's awesome and cool, and everyone loves me because I'm neat. On the flip side, since you're relying entirely, mind you, on your GM to actually to play ball, if something goes wrong and it's like, oh, well, here's my character, and your GM's like, I don't like that character very much. It's like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess. And sometimes that's okay, but sometimes it's like, guys. You know, cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm soundtrack. Also, hello, everybody here. We have 8 viewers, which is kind of insane. Going over fucking Ruby of all things. So, weapon design. I like this. This is actually a cool idea. The entire idea is that that you have to design your very own weapon. It's like, oh boy, it's the style each one takes and you know what you actually have to roll to hit them with it. All weapons deal a d6 damage. But that's not entirely right either. One thing, or Chainsaw, that is a completely valid strategy, and they do talk about that in the game, because that's what RWBY did. Like that, the sample character they keep building is RWBY herself. And they keep saying, yeah, she just doesn't use her semblance at all, but bye. And it's like, what? What? No. That's kind of like an important part. And you're just forgetting it? Alright, cool, whatever. Neat. Yeah, and I like this because it's like, oh, hey, I have an aggressive weapon that's also like an accurate weapon. Which apparently an assault rifle counts as an accurate weapon. We don't talk about that. It's like, yeah, here, I have a claymore that doubles as a sniper rifle. That's neat. I like it. It works. You need to... When in doubt... Yes, you could use Obrez nunchucks if you really want to. Just understand that everything has to use the same concepts. So it's like, oh, hey, here's my aggressive weapon. Or here's my precise weapon. These are just like how you hit. They don't really mean anything outside of that. You will be doing d6 damage, except, and if you're melee, you add your strength. For range, you just consume your ammo. Unless you have the rule of cool dice, in which case you can add additional damage to it. Now you're seeing where the rule of cool is coming in, and how you need it for everything. It is a massively important part of the game. That's also entirely dependent on the GM. Like, you and the GM have to be in sync for this game to work properly. Now, specializations are things that you are able to modify your weapon with. And you get a number of them equal to your dis. What the fuck is the dis called? Discipline, which is for some reason your weapon attribute. Don't question it. And this also doubles how your weapon acts. So you can do quite a bit of things if you have high discipline, which if I were to make a character in this, guess who's pumping discipline? I want the coolest, biggest, scariest weapon I physically can get because I'm cool and scary and big. You also get things like this. Oh hey, it's John. You can play man with sword in game of lady with shotgun sniper rifle scythe. You can be man with sword. Some people like man with sword. Others do not. You're the human male fighter of this world, except everyone is cooler than you. It's like, perfect. And some of these specializations are actually pretty neat. Like, oh hey, alternate forms. Suboptimal forms, such as aggressive greater sword, rather than elegant scythe. The character is able to deal significantly more damage. You can select more by using it differently. This is cool. I like this. Then you get other ones, which are like, oh boy, camouflage. Custom Faunus trait. Because, yeah, there's another race to this game. Faunus, don't worry. They have no mechanics. Except when they do. Or it's like, oh boy. Like, there's a bunch of options you're allowed to take, but each option feels like there should be more to it. Like, I want a bajillion options here, but I don't have that. Dust is magic, but not magic. All of these do things. These are not canon dust, by the way. Because they have certain dusts that aren't real in setting. Such as, I believe, orange and pink, which is the element of Sonic. Yeah, we have the element of Sonic here, folks. Everyone, call upon our Lord and Savior, Sonic. Like, alright, this is fine. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at it. You throw your vial, you throw your thing, you use the rounds. Cool, this is fine. I'm not gonna complain about it. But it's like, really, guys? Really? It uses a fairly basic range increment style. Oh boy, skill checks. Not exactly complex. Oh, where's the other thing that I really wanted to... Yeah, you're also... My favorite. Yes. Do as you wish, Air Stealer. The game literally doesn't understand how to balance some semblances, so you have notes like this. Hey, yeah, no, you can have healing semblances. Unbalanced and too complex to make work in any fashion. There's not enough economy of mechanics in the unofficial RWBY tabletop RPG to allow characters to nullify damage. Yeah, you get options like that. And I'm not like... Here's the weird thing. I'm not against the dust thing. That's the weird thing. I'm not against this. I'm just like, really? Like, you could add more things to that? It's one of those, it's a commitment thing. Please commit to what you want to do. And now we get to combat. Now, this is what the game is about. It's about combat. And this is where things get a little bit odd. And you actively try to... It's a defense check. Counterattack reactions. Characters who avoid the attack by 5 or more make a counterattack reaction instead of a normal bonus for avoiding attack. The counter must be formed by an attack that she shares an attribute with a defense check. For example, the character defends herself with a semblance check. They can counterattack using either will or perception. What does this actually mean? All of these are unique and different. Parries in attack where they immediately inflict 3 points of damage to their attacker. This dodge, move up to 1 range increment. Just resist it. Semblance checks. Dust defense. All of these are very different, and I'm not going to be fussed about it. There's nothing I can really do about it. It's it works because this is what the game is about. This game is about the combat. It's about getting to the combat and doing the combat for combat reasons. And if you're not in that initial combat idea, things are going to get a little bit complicated. So, we have all these different ideas, different things to do, and then we have attacking, movement, skill checks, situational rules, falling damage, all the status effects. Hopefully you like status effects, because we have all of them. Now, assets are like one-shot major items, and this is one line that I want you to understand. I want you to internalize this line. Dust loop? Oh god. Did I see dust loop somewhere? No. Like, I want you all to internalize this line right here. Assets allow characters to have progressions that lasts between sessions. There is no progression mechanic in this game, which is odd, which is really odd. And I thought that, like, that entire idea kind of flummoxed me at first, because I was waiting as I was reading through this book initially, like, okay, where's the advanced mechanic? How do I level up? How do I get better at what I do? The answer is you don't. That's not a core mechanic in this game, which is like, oh no, like you took the steps forward and you fucked it up. So this is how you advance. Assets are items and things that you can use. These are cool. It's a sentry turret. Cool. It's a giant DJ helmet that you can wear. Neat. Jump packs. Oh no. Friendly civilian pilot immediately evacuated on a bullhead airship for the following action sequence. You can just evac. Emergency gunship. While making a call to a friendly military pilot. Next action sequence. Athlesian Valkyrie gunship will deal 80 damage divided among enemy designated by the character with the asset. 80 damage is quite a bit. Like, there's actually a few things that are going to melt immediately the second you call it an emergency fucking gunship. And these are pretty small. Like, this is the only page of assets. Welcome to your entire leveling up process in the main game. A fucking gunship, yeah. Mind you, which that isn't... yeah, your character gets a MacGuffin for the episode. Sort of, yeah. That's kind of how it works. And it is, like... And that was, like, one of those parts about this game that I kind of, like, have to summarize in total. This is a cool idea. Because I want you to kind of close your eyes and imagine this game isn't a RWBY game. This game isn't RWBY. It's just called Rule of Cool or Action System 101 or whatever. You immediately have like an idea of how the game's supposed to play out. Being like, yeah, no, it's a cool action movie and we're all building up to this set piece of us doing some crazy combat or we're diving through walls. It's a fucking John Woo movie. It's like, cool. Unfortunately, it's RWBY. And we have to understand that. And yeah, you can't call a fucking gunship. There's just a gunship. And actually, that's like one of those very odd things about RWBY that I need to... RWBY gunship. I wonder if it... Because gunships are canon. Like, there's a lot of different kinds of gunships in setting. Because this is also the same thing, same setting, that has unironic giant robots. And not just, like, little shitty robots. Mechs. Like, these are, like, legit mechs that people have. That you can just... have? like, the tech levels of this setting is actually kind of bizarre. And, yeah. Yeah, or it's... If this was a JTRPG, or a game inspired by those, I'd be fine. I don't think I would really complain about this game. But it's not. It's RWBY. It's magic. Yeah, it is Magitech. They explain it all in like the supplementary materials because everyone has superpowers, but it's not magic, mind you. Magic is different. And because also, hello, we have 11 viewers. Congratulations, everyone. We made it. You sort of fucking gunship because Air Stealer. Because that's why it's cooler that way. And that's it. And now we get to the exotic dust. Now, this is where it comes to the point of this isn't necessarily about RWBY. This is about fan and RWBY. This is about the fan and the fan interpretation of it. Now, mind you, this isn't even like a side thing. This is like a main part of the game, mind you. You get things like mind dust, time dust. Yeah. Fast, you can rapidly age people, and space, life, entropy. Like, what? You have all these different things that are like, and this is a fan thing, definitely. Because our dust shards, I don't know if that's canon. I don't fucking know. Whisper rounds, I don't fucking know if those are canon. I don't know. Not my thing. We also have vehicles. Yes, there's an entire section on vehicles. Why is this a thing in this game? You don't need it. The wealth system, money in general. Yeah, like, man, that test was hard. I don't know if I passed it. Delicious. Let's go back in time. Zing. Like, it's not like that. It's like, in canon, this isn't the way it's like this. It's like, why do you have it in the book then? That's always going to be my question. Like, why do you have it in the book? Wealth and possessions. This is fine. I actually like these kind of systems where it's not necessarily you have X gold or whatever. It's wealth. Hey, I'm going to make a... We'll get to that in a second, Distara. We'll get to that in a second. Like, when we get to the very end, I'll kind of do a big summary on what I think about this. But, wealth system, roll dice, get things. I like these systems. Now we get to the optional rules. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, technically, you don't actually spend these. You can spend them for like a resource to dispatch one enemy as an action with lower threat than the corresponding ROC level, second wind. If I were to run this game, if you were to put a gun to my head, I would add this immediately. Because it immediately puts a resource that the GM is encouraged to give you that you can immediately get back, and it's kind of a spending mechanic. It's kind of like Destiny, I think it's called in the Star Wars games. I like that. I like that a lot because it's a give and take. Now we get to these parts. Dustin, the unofficial RWBY tabletop game, is not active to the canon of the show. Just don't think about it. These are your colors. These are what you, if you want to play a canon show, this is what you're going to add. That's it. Don't like it, don't like it. Fuck you. Here's like the alternate attribute generation. Here's the structured ROC, which I'm not a huge fan of personally. Now, here's the optional mechanic for character progression. The optional mechanic. Heritage, which, remember when I said heritage doesn't mean anything? It does mean something here. But you get just a +1. The GM is entirely dependent on your level. Every level, you increase your attributes ever so slightly. Like these aren't like a lot either. And once you hit level 5, repeated characters gain benefit of level 2, 3, 4 again in order at benefit per level. It is, like, that's the weird thing. This is a one-shot system. But unfortunately, it's also a RWBY system. Like, that's like the very bizarre thing that kind of goes in my mind. And I'll kind of just go through. I won't really go over the enemies are fine. They're a little bit jank, but it works for what it's going for. One thing to note is that some enemies require you to have a rule of cool to actually fight, which is again determinant on your GM playing nice with you. So, this is a one-shot system in a setting that is about its story. That's about kind of the continuous storylines going on, which kind of hurts it. Actually, it hurts it a lot. I like the game. Like, that's the weird thing. I actually like the game. I think it's a good idea. I think there's a lot of interesting parts to it. I just think it's an unfortunate fact of life that you have to kind of, how do I word this? The show says one thing, and that's the people who are going to want to play this game are people who enjoy the show. However, you cannot play the show. No. That's not what the game is about. The game is about playing the RWBY fanon, about playing kind of the fan interpretation of the setting for one-shots. So it's kind of like, here's my special cool OC character I'm going to play once and never play again. Because the system doesn't encourage that. But then you look at the RWBY canon and like how the show is structured. There's 8 volumes. They're going on the 9th volume soon. Those are the same characters. People have grown. People have grown in both character design and personality and such. That's not a thing in this game. So like overall, I like this game. That's the bizarre thing. I actually like this game. There's so many parts to it that I enjoy. I think the rule of cool system's interesting. It has a lot of room to maneuver with it. I think the weapon creation system's really fucking cool. I like the idea that you have so many different options and it always is kind of leading you to this combat scenario. That's very interesting and very Monty esque. That's cool. Unfortunately, it is hampered by its RWBY-ness, and it's kind of shoots itself in its own foot, because everything you do in this game is always tempered by, but then it's RWBY. Oh man, it's really cool to level up, and I want to increase my character's power as they go through school, but it's also the fucking tabletop game and you don't do that. That's not a thing you can do. Oh, I want to be like a veteran hunter with its own cool ideas and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. You can do that, but I want to play it like the show. But you can't play it like the show. That's kind of, it's a morally complex game. I would say check it out. Honestly, check it out. Cool game, cool idea. Just damn shame it's a RWBY game. If you were to gut this and just make the rule of cool SRD, hell yeah, I think this game would be real successful. I think it would be like nice, crisp, dynamic. People would love it. It would be a fun system. It's just RWBY. And that's kind of its like greatest sin. That's kind of the biggest issue with it. So we're going to move on to the second game. STALKER, the sci-fi role-playing game. Stacker. Now, immediately you may say, Notepad, didn't we do Stalker last time? Well, no, we did Stalkin', which is different from Stalker, because this is based off the books from Roadside Picnic. Now, this game is by Burger Games. Now, Burger Games, wait a second, give me 1 second. I need to find the right Burger Games. Here we go. By Burger Games, and they are, if I remember correctly, they're from Finland. Yeah, they're from Finland. Very Finland. Double check to make sure. Yeah, they're Finnish. And I like it. Like, they've done a few different things. And it's just kind of hard to find things on them because everything's in fucking Finnish. They do Finnish games and Finnish ideas for Finnish reasons. Let me see. Has he done it? It literally just brings up his email there. Do you like this website by way of like 2002? It's great. Adore it. Yeah, it's an odd game because this is the fucking website. And he does have other games in English. And this is in English. This is in English. I'm curious. What other... Yeah, I know. This is where things get, like, complicated. Because it's actually kind of hard finding things about them. Because he is... Okay. Let me see if I can find anything. Nope, that's just broken. Ah, there we go. Playdor. This is one of their big games that they did called Playdor or Priador. I can't pronounce it. So these games, these guys have been making games for quite a while. This is back in 2000. This game is about 20 years old. And as you can tell, Burger Games aren't people. They don't have a Wikipedia article. Which, it's actually kind of hard to find the stuff on these guys. But this game came out in 2012. Which makes it about 9 years old. However, one thing to note is that this game isn't Stalker. This is not cheeky breaky. No, drink vodka makes things go wrong. No. This is one of the Strugatsky's books. It's based off of Roadside Picnic. The actual legit, like, original book. In which the characters were called Stalkers. Now, was the intention to release a game called Stalker based off the book that was originally that made the Stalker franchise? Yes. Now, I think that was completely deliberate because they wanted to make sure people bought it. Because, like, if you were to just Google Stalker, the first thing that pops up is the movie from '79, and then immediately Stalker 2. And even the Stalker game series is the first thing that pops up here. Like, this isn't even, like, this is just typing in Stalker. These are the first things that pop up. This game was, I'm not going to say it was like, oh, well, you're deliberately, trying to fuck with people. No. What I'm saying is, if you go in here thinking it's going to be a Stalker game, it's not. It's going to be a Roadside Picnic game. And I like that for its own reason. I also like the fact I just realized that he thinks 9 Inch Nails. Yep. God bless Finland. So, I actually kind of like Roadside Picnic is one of my favorite books of all time. It's thematic, it's scary, it has its own kind of creeping dread over the entire story, and I enjoy that parts about it. This is not... This is a role-playing game. It is a diceless role-playing game. That's where things get a little bit complicated. Yeah, you heard me right. It's diceless. But diceless in kind of a different way. So, I skipped 48 pages because all of this is literally lore. I actually really like the artwork in this game. Everything looks like this. I love this moody art. Now, fun fact about this section. Buzzard and Red are actually characters from the book. These two are actually, like, in the book, Red is the main character. Buzzard's a bastard. And it says, like, oh, they're in Zone Canada. They never explicitly say where they're from in the game. In the book, anyway. So, that's something you kind of gotta... Yeah. Motorhead, AC/DC. Yeah, they're Finnish, alright. So, one of the things is Stalker uses the flow system. And if we actually look around a little bit, let's do a little bit of hunting around. Let's see what we can find on the flow system. Ville Vorella for Stalker RPG in 2008. Yeah, this game came out a little while. Nothing. This is the only other game they've used it for, the Vihan Lap set. 2000, yeah. Like, this was kind of a purpose-built system. However, he does go into a little bit of, like, how it is. It originated in... Initially, I thought this was RapeCon, and no, it is RopeCon 2005. Yeah, no, this is Flow. And dicelessness has no intrinsic value, and if the situation calls for it, the GM should roll a dice. I don't hate the flow system. I think it's a cool idea. It's just like, guys, it's diceless. It's a very narrativist game. It is very, I'm going to tell you how things are going to go, and I'm like, oh, you are super skilled in this area. Yeah, you're going to be able to do it. Or, oh, hey, you aren't. Let's roll a dice, and maybe something will happen. I don't know. Just do it, bro, and just fucking do it, Lamau. And yeah, this is... I'm gonna see if I can get down to... You do have fate points. Stalker can trust in blind luck. By spending a point of the attribute that best fits the situation, can hope fate intervenes. Effect determined by the GM. Hopefully you like playing Mother May I with them. That's what you're going to be doing. And suddenly, here's how you make characters. It's... Here's what you do, and here's you determining what your goal in the team is. Now, interesting fact, they do address women in this, because in the original book, women don't really go into the zone at all, because weird shit happens to them. And they're like, yeah, men are expendable. They are the ones who go in there, and they're the ones who die, because they don't get fucked up as much. In the Stalker games, they address women not going in there because this is a horrifying world of nightmare demon monsters, and women get heavily mutated if they go in there. Men don't as quickly. They also don't put women in there is because so they didn't have to put in female models. That's the true Ukrainian way of doing things. This one they actually put it in. I think that's pretty cool. And like, yeah, it's, hey, robot carries a gun, drives a car, makes sure the team has sufficient provisions, life and abilities. Abilities are picked up by the life stages by usually a combination of doing things as long as long as there's good explanation. The player determines that the decides was a policeman for 5 years, he can argue possessing 3 relevant abilities at the start of the game. So yeah, you have to choose your abilities. What are your abilities? All of these. Now, what does this actually mean? What it means is I can select the journalist ability, and also, why does this look like Comic Sans? I can select the journalist ability, and I'm a journalist. Now, I have journalist abilities that do journalist things for journalist reasons. I have the bureaucrat ability. I have the gunsmith ability, the sixth sense. And drawbacks are exactly that. It's bad. It adds a history. These are narrative systems. I don't hate it. But you also get things like this. I really like this character. Because you immediately get an idea who he was. Hey, why is he doing this? Is he he's a driver? Is he a stunt driver? Why does he have all these different things? But his flaw is like, why does he have a car crash mark on his face? Maybe he's a speed freak. Maybe he's terrified of fire. Maybe, he's very human, and that's what I like about this game. I like the fact that it's thematic to the source material. Don't question it, Salmon. Do not question why it's, is this Comic Sans? I don't know. I'm going to consult the only person I know. Give me 1 second. I'm going to consult a friend of mine because he's a graphic designer. Okay, you're not there. Is Chop online? No, Chop is not online. Cool. The other graphic designer found. Yeah, I think this is literally Comic Sans. That's the saddest part. I think this is Comic Sans. This is the one thing. These don't do anything. This is literally just your attribute on it. Let's say, for example, I want to fix a car. If I have the mechanics, if I have a mechanic ability if I have, let's say, a education ability with the mechanic skill, I could fix it. I can fix things, do stuff like that. No role, no anything like that, but that's not the point. And I'm not... They try to make it work and things like this. I don't hate it. Let me really beat it into you guys. I don't hate this game. I just think it's painful, and it's like, God fucking damn it, why is this game a stalker game? Why is it the way that it is? Also, is her face fucked up for anyone else, or is it just me? Everyone else looks pretty normal. Why does she seem so flat? Look like it's curvature. Am I weird? Okay, good. I'm not the only one. And the thing is, if you were to say, hey, Notepad, I want to run a stalker game, I would say, you know what? You want to run a stalker game? Cool. Choose your desired, game, system of choice. My one thing is, get this book to read through it. Because there are really cool bits to this. And it's like, hey, how do you trade your artifacts away? How do you, what happens when you need to surrender? There's a bunch of different things that you can do. And, here's all the camping gear that goes into it. what you're using, what aren't you using. This is like an incredibly good game to just read through for the story and just kind of all the little aspects of it. If I was going to run a game in the zone, I would read this first and then use a completely different system, because Flow's system does not work for what the story they were wanting to tell is. Because I don't think Roadside Picnic is a good story for an RPG. Roadside Picnic is a moody, kind of grim story of humans, of people being terrible to one another, but also being... You understand why everyone is a monster to one another. On the other hand, you're also getting this very sad story of people, and people are human beings, and they're flawed, and they're fucked up, and they're doing these terrible things, but you have context, you have reason. That's not really a good RPG material, because they only go into the zone, I only think in the book, they only go into the zone like a handful of times. And it's usually not very long at any time, because that's not the point of the book. The point of the book isn't about going into the zone and seeing all the weird shit. It's about that moody, why would people willingly go into this hellscape, effectively. That's cool, that's fine. Great for the story. Not a game. And that's why I think... But, mind you, on the flip side, the Stalker games are fantastic tabletop material. They're fantastic for one distinct reason. That moody silence in the games, that quiet going for, having that kind of quiet day-to-day of things, is always punctuated by something. It's that moody, like, we're walking down the road, only thing you hear is your own footsteps in the dead silence of the world. You stop for a second and take it all in. And then you hear a rustle on the side of the road. You're like, oh God, what the fuck is it? Is it a monster? Is it a pseudo dog? And it's nothing. Everything's fine. Then you turn around and there's a bloodsucker behind you willing to maul you to death. That's the point. That's the feeling of it. You're seeing what makes that game interesting. And then, someone fucking... Yeah, we don't talk about, someone like phasing through a wall or something. That's just kind of its own thing. And our character sheet, fairly simple. Ain't exactly complex. It's not the point. Like, that's kind of the entire point of the game, is that, like, it's not supposed to be that difficult. Even things like combat is pretty damn simple. They have, if you are running a diceless game, again, too, consult this. This is actually really good on how to do these things. If you were to, like, put a gun to my head, I would say use Flow and use this game for form games, or like text-based games with large groups, where you can't really manage everybody, but it's like, hey, someone wants to do a thing. What's your attribute? This. Okay, what are you doing? This. Cool, you do it. Because you have the skill for it. This game would be phenomenal for it. And then it's like, oh, jeez. These stacks aren't really worth bother playing them out. And handling abilities, teamwork tools, evaluating ideas. Stupid idea. Yeah. What's your idea? It's just a stupid fucking idea. Just cease. Just stupid. Dumb. Comparative evaluation. Comparative solution to the GM thought of beforehand. It's a lot of, like, how to run these kind of games. How do you evaluate roleplay? That's an option in this game. And it's like, God. Ow. I do not like this game. But I don't like it because of all the different parts of it fucking Voltroning together to make a game that doesn't really work. If you were to say, okay, Notepad, I'm going to run a roadside picnic RPG. It's going to be quiet, not even really crunch, not even crunch, mind you. I'm going to run a roadside picnic RPG. It's going to be a simple D6 system, but this is what it's going to be about. Cool. Notepad, I'm going to run a flow game. It's going to be about fucking Venetian traders or whatever. The entire idea is everyone is like really, it's roleplay focused. Cool, I can deal with that. It's just like all of these things together do not work. And people bought this game, people like it, obviously. But this is for a very certain kind of person. But I would still say look at it. If you can ever find a copy of it, look at it. Just because there's a lot of cool ideas for just about any kind of game as like a role-playing aid more than anything. I know you, Distara, I know you run a lot of online games because you were a dead silent alien. Look through it. Honestly, look through it. Because there are so many different things for like helping people roleplay as well. Like try to get like some things like you want to get people role-playing. You want to get people to do this. You want to get people to do that. Good idea. For those who want those lighter games, the good idea. Unfortunately, it's kind of like my notes beforehand. It was a cool idea. Unfortunately, it is a fucking stalker game. If it wasn't a stalker game, I don't think I would care as much. I think it would be a pretty damn good game if that were the case. But the problem is that it is. And like combat kind of works. If you're going into this, you're going into it. And you probably already kind of know how you want to do things. They're going to keep adding shit. Now, mind you, like, wow, Notepad, this game's almost done. Right, no, this is a 240-page book. We've gone over about 99% of the book. But there's more. Oh, there's more. And more. And more. And more. And more. More. And more. Amore! Amore! Da 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 da. Like, there's just so much fucking shit. Because they go over every single thing that can occur in the zone. They go over all the different aspects of how the zone functions, of how it looks. I don't hate it. Again, I'll say it again. I don't hate this game. I just want it to make it better. It's conflicting. And the artwork is phenomenal. I just wish it was in this game. Like, come on. Look how cool this looks. This is interesting. I like it. But it's in this. And we're gonna have to deal with it. Also, we got a penis. Penis alert, everybody. Penis alert. They don't really they go over aspects of it that are like touched upon in the book and touched upon elsewhere in like a lot more detail. I like that. Again, if you want to run a stalker game, read it. Read this book because you're going to get a lot of cool ideas. Just understand what you're getting into. Also, that is one thick woman. Extras. Zone Japan. Yeah, there's a zone technically in Japan. Yep, that is the game. I want to like it. I really want to like it, but I just can't. Like, there's so many little things that I just dislike about it, being a diceless game. Now, the final game we're going to look at is near and dear to my heart. It's a game that I have a deep affection for all of the wrong reasons. Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire role-playing, a Game of Thrones edition. And this was written by Green Ronin. Now, for those who don't know, Green Ronin is a pretty, I would say, a pretty popular company in the sphere. Like, they do a lot of different games. Their big ones are Fantasy Age, Modern Age. They have the Expanse RPG, the Blue Rose. They also do Mutants and Masterminds, the Dragon Age RPG, the Chronicle system, which we'll be looking at, as well. Pathfinder, what? And their other big game is True 20. This is like their baby child they did way back in the day, and still makes them a lot of money. They also did all the Pathfinder stuff for Freeport, which again Freeport was apparently like one of the best Pathfinder books. This is Chronicle. The Chronicle system is what we'll be kind of looking at today. But this is where things get complicated. All of these, or Sword Chronicle. Wait, Sword Chronicle. Never heard of this game. I'm gonna have to try to find this game. Yeah, look right here. Interesting too is Robert J. Schwalb did this game as well. Right there. And I'm curious. Let's do a little. Mr. Schwalb. What have you been doing? Yeah, that looks exactly like who I would think he would. Published in 2009. Let me just look around here. What have you been doing? He did a new Judge Dredd role-playing game. He did Shadow of the Demon Lord. Oh, wait, he wrote Shadow of the fucking Demon Lord. Nice. Hello, human robot. Welcome to the thing. We are looking at the Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game. We just went through 2 other games, the STALKER RPG as well as the RWBY Unofficial RPG. It is interesting, though. This guy is the guy who wrote... Yeah, no, he wrote... Oh, wow, looks like he's been writing a lot of things recently. Yeah, he hasn't won any awards, really, for a while. Shout out to the Demon Lord. Yep, Schwalb Entertainment, LLC. Let me see. Schwalb Entertainment. Yep, this is the guy who wrote it. What? Punk apocalyptic, yeah. Godless. Let's see. Demon Lord, Demon Lord, Demon Lord, Demon Lord, Demon Lord. He likes his Demon Lord, let's just say that. That's his thing. Do we have anything else that we can work with? Products? No, not really. Freeport Companion, yeah. So, interesting. That's kind of interesting in its own right. However, the Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game came out originally in 2009. And this is not the first, good old-fashioned Game of Thrones tabletop role-playing game experience. There was another one back in early 2005 using the TriStat D&D system by Guardians of Order. The guys who did Big Eyes, Small Mouth. That's the weird thing. They don't really talk about it at all. If we look here, we have they also publish Amber Dice Play with Sword and Sorcery Studios. Like this fucking thing has been like tossed around quite a bit. Jesus, Warcraft, a role-playing game. These guys have done a little bit of everything. But Green Ronin published this back in 2009. And I actually really like this game. It does use their Chronicle system, which, if you notice, though, Sword Chronicle. Wait a second. This is Sword Chronicle. This looks. This isn't my Game of Thrones. Where's my Game of Thrones? There's gotta be something. Let's look maybe. Maybe it'll tell us. Oh no. Oh no, it's gone. It's gone forever. It's just not on their site anymore. However, I like this game. Also, these are the ones who fucking betrayed me and made Blue Rose 5e. Fuck you guys. Still give me money, please. I'll be your game design mercenary. This game is near and dear to my heart for two reasons. One, I love Game of Thrones. I adore it. I read all the books. I'm in it. I'm waiting for George R. Martin to put out the last book that he never will, and I'm going to get continuously angry about him with. I love the characters. I love the stories. I love theory crafting with my friends. I loved all of it. I was in it. I was in the Sith General threads on TG, and that is where I got the second point. Because of this game, Notepad Anon came to be. That's where I got the name. That's where I kind of became me in more than a few ways, is through those initial threads. People wanted to fix it, and I posted my initial thoughts in a Notepad document, and Notepad Anon was born. And I wrote Blood, Coin, and Steel out of it. And that was... Because even if we look... I actually looked at it earlier. I'm like, wow. This was 2 years ago, I think, at this point. I gotta fix it. I gotta fix this game. It's been so long. But like, oh, wow, look, it's Blood, Coin, and iPhone. But you also get, like, all of the major expansions I wrote for this game. All of the side expansions. Yeah. Yo, this is one of my thickest games I actually wrote. Oh, how big is this game? Yeah, you can tell this is old, not formatted properly. There's a, it's jank. Everything is jank. Let's see. There are, yes, 111 pages of this game that I wrote, and word count wise, we're at about 27,000 words. And it was all because, and all taken from the fucking corpse of this game. However, you may be wondering, no, Pat, if you love this game so much, what's the catch? This entire thing is... Notepad should like, but doesn't. What's the catch? Well, folks, the catch is pretty simple. This game is broke. Like, holy shit, this game is broke all the fuck. This game barely functions. It's great. And it's... I like this game, but God, I will be the first one to say it is a broken, poorly formatted disaster area. And this is technically the 2000... What is this? Yeah, this is the 2012 version of the book. It's not really a second edition. It's a deluxe edition. You can say it right here. This was because the show was just coming out. Now, note that word. Just coming out. This game was mostly based around the books, which you'll kind of see by some of the artwork and such. It does make a lot of sense. Hence, you have this being, like, this is Cersei. That's Robert. There's Varys, who looks the exact same as he always does. I love the artwork of this game. It's pretty. It's very, lively. And then you just have all the rest. Hopefully you like reading. Because the entire first bit of this book is a fucking primer on the setting. And by primer, I mean they are going to go over every single detail of this fucking book. And they do it. You are getting the full experience with this game. And I like that about it. That's one of my favorite parts about it. now things start falling apart. At its core, it's a D6 system. It's a D6 dice pool system where you add everything up. And when you add everything up, you get random. And that's it. So it's based entirely off your ability scores, which aren't really complicated. And it's like, oh boy, basic tests. Things seem pretty simple right now. But things get complicated pretty fast. And this is for two very distinct reasons. Hello, Sachiko. One of the core reasons why this game gets a little bit complex is how it handles bonus dice. So, let's say, for example, I have a 4d6 to my check. Pretty simple. Let's say I have two bonus dice. Two bonus dice to it. I would roll 6d6 and then take away. Let's say I rolled a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. If I can actually count correctly. There we go. Let's say I rolled this. I would take away the bonus dice. So I would take away the two lowest dice as my bonus dice, and that's what I get. If I were to have a penalty to it, though, I simply would to remove the dice. And I just wouldn't get it. Except the problem is bonus dice can be used for other things. And those other things are extensive. There are modifiers, there's wounds, there's penalty die, subtracted from the dice set with the lowest result first after any bonus dice has been discarded, but before the dice are assumed to determine the result. This game has a lot of parts to it. There's a lot of moving parts to things, and the problem is every single one of those moving parts also has moving parts to it. It's like, oh, God. Oh, no. Let's do the archetypes. These are not archetypes. These are not classes. Everything is chosen by you, the player. One thing to note, though. One thing to note. Every single attribute starts at 2. 2. And I actually deliberately had to get an eye to kind of help people with this, because it's going to be a little bit weird. This is the character sheet, what the character sheet looks like. Every single attribute starts at 2. Now just keep that in mind. These are 2d6 that you will roll as an average person across every check. You may also be seeing something very odd. There are no attributes in this game. It is entirely what we would consider skill-driven. They call them abilities, but they're kind of more what we would think about skills. Awareness, cunning, stealth, survival, thievery are on the same idea as marksmanship, fighting, healing, languages, agility, athletics, and endurance, which plays into how strong you are, as well as your intrigue defenses and your combat defenses and your composure, which is like your intrigue health and your not dying health. Oh no, you're seeing where things can get a little bit complicated. We haven't even hit the full-on devil trigger that you can do in this game by the pure amount of bullshit available to you. Just because there are so many little parts, because we haven't hit qualities yet. Once we hit qualities, you'll start understanding, oh sweet mother of God, what do you mean there are things that you can do to augment those dice to do different things? And since everything is chosen by you, the player, and there's no classes or anything, you can break this game over. You can break this game over your fucking knee real easy. And that is its biggest problem, is that you need to have a GM who is explicitly familiar with the system. Because if you don't, you will have someone who is stronger than Gregor Clegane within the first 5 minutes. At character creation, it is entirely possible to create Gregor Clegane 2 Electric Boogaloo and be too stupid to not understand that you cannot be influenced. It's like that's supposed to be the balancing factor. Like, oh, you're good at combat, but you're not very good at intrigue. But the intrigue system is asinine and barely works. And it's like, oh god. Mm. Yep, we're going. Oh boy. Also, determine the role means nothing. Your age means things. Your status isn't your status, which determines where you are and thing, is a purchased attribute. That is something that you have to purchase using your experience points, which you have a very limited amount of. And it's not cheap. These are 30 per pop to go up. If you want to increase any of these, it's 30 XP. An adult male, any adult male, adult female is going to have to pay 30 experience to level up, to get anything up one. A starting heir at status 5 is going to have fuck all experience, because he has to spend about 120 to even get to where he has to be. And it was like, oh god, no. Oh no. You also have issues like this. You can, technically, any character can be of any age. And they actually encourage characters to be younger. Like this age. These, like, young adult is like 16, I believe. Up to 18 is young adult. And like youth and adolescents, these are like characters that are very possible and have the same rules as everybody else. Oh no. Oh no. And it's like, oh no. And like here are, so like starting stats, let me see. Hell, even starting status might be 6, which is again an insane amount of experience points you have to immediately purchase from your starting experience points, which kind of sucks when you're like, I want to make a character, being like, sorry, you're the heir, so you get no experience points. This is the by sheer just coinkydink. That's what you have to do. Now, again, when I say, like, the role doesn't really mean anything. It's supposed to be kind of the idea of, oh, you're just you're kind of giving you an idea of like where your character is getting pushed into. They don't mean anything. And that's really sucks. You like charts though? We got fucking charts. You got charts for days that mean nothing. Nothing at all. Also, if you want to see what Apex, what it means to be an Apex man, like this is a Sigma male right here. Omega male. Daring male. It doesn't matter. He's too cool for you. He's got a fucking harp. And some like weird giraffe monster over here. And then we assign our abilities. Here's all your ability experience. Here's how you're like. This is what they want you to hey, this is what your abilities are. You don't need to do that. Fuck no. Break that shit. Adults get a shit ton of options when it comes to that. They get so many different options to break things. They do say, oh, hey, with your narrative position, you can reduce an ability by 1, gain an extra 50 points to allocate the other abilities. If they let you do that, you pretty much get a point elsewhere, and then some. If he lets you do it twice, you can technically get something of the 4 for free. Which again, I am a knight. I want to have 1 stealth. I want to have 1 thievery. I'm never going to use those. I have 100 extra experience points now. 100 experience points extra. hell, even if I'm an adult, I have 210. That means I have 310. Actually, 310 right now, which is boggling. And that means you can start breaking shit. Because you can go as high as you fucking feel like. If you really want. Oh, man, I want to have a 7. I want to be Gregor Clegane if I feel like. Boom, 7. I am rolling more dice than every single fighter in fucking Westeros right now. I want to be big. I want to have strong. Like, you can break this fucking system over very easily. And that was, like, one of the biggest complaints with it. Is that you can very easily destroy it. And this is where things get worse. Oh boy. Specialties, as I was going over before, these are your bonus dice. Bonus dice use a completely separate amount of XP. That, again, you're supposed to do this, but nothing really stops you from doing Short Blades 3. In which if you take one ability, suddenly you can kill every character in the game. Easy. It's ridiculous. It's great. Very simple starting possessions. Like, these are your specialty costs. Everything costs 10. You can, if you have a 7 in something, you can pay 70 experience to roll 14d6. That character creation. It's like, oh my god. These are also entirely based off of your destiny points, which one thing I actually changed, like, fundamentally with Blood, Coin, and Steel is that you are not getting your... You get an X amount of benefits because that is who you are. Children do not get many, this is inverse of each other. Children have a lot of destiny points because they're not really getting any benefits. Venerable have a lot of benefits because they're older and learn things, but they don't have any, destiny. And then you get flaws. What are flaws, you may ask? Well, silly boy, you. Your flaws, you just take a -1 dice on ability. You just lose a dice, which is what you've been doing, which you can be doing to break the system in other places. Again. And again. And another time. And another one. Like, you can just really break this system very easily, and it makes it hard to play. It really does. Because, again, it's at rank 6. Best in the world that people do. People seek you out to learn and improve their training or to simply meet you. Only rare few individuals attain rank 6 in any ability, much less 2 or more. You can get 2. You can get 2 at character creation. Like that. Doesn't take anything. 7, you can get pretty fucking easy as well. If you really play your cards right, you can get a rank 7 in something. If you break it, you can actually get rank 8 in one thing by pure virtue of taking a single ability, which you can get a rank 8 in something, which means that you are rolling 8 dice for it, in which a basic check is like 6. It's great. You can absolutely smash people if you play it right. And then we have all our ability route. Like, a basic check is 6, 9, 12. Like, oh, wow, ignore 21 damage. This is insane. If I'm rolling 6d6, like, I'm going to be able to hit 21. Like, it's not a complicated endeavor. If I'm rolling all these, like, really hard checks, if you play the game the way you're supposed to, the way the developer said, these all make sense. However, anyone with more than 3 brain cells can determine that you can break it. And you can use this system to make horrifying power fantasy characters, which are hilarious. Let me see, actually. I wonder if I can find the sample. Sometimes they actually have, like, spread throughout. Do they actually have any of the sample characters? No, I don't think they do. Okay, actually, what I need to do is zoom all the way back up. Yeah. All right. Now we come to the qualities. Qualities are funny because qualities are equally destroyed and not actually that great. Artist. You can create works of art. Pretty neat, right? If we go down... Oh. Oh no, I can recover from injuries better if I have basic endurance. Oh no. What do you mean I can do all these terrible, terrible things by virtue of simply existing? You can... Some of these things get like... You're taking artists because you want it to be your character, not because it is the most effective thing. You want to take dexterous if you're doing that. You want to take things like expertise, gain +1 dice with one specialty. Just take it. It's better for you. Facing the crowd. You have these like very much bonus, very good, nice ones that allow you to do like direct bonuses to your actual like gameplay, and other ones which are like fuck yourself over or gain a cohort. And others are really useful. It's like, hey, air is really cool. Problem is, air costs destiny. Guess what you need destiny for? To do fucking anything. So you can't just make a character, you have to spend points to make your character the way you want it to. Which is fine. If it did something else, but it really doesn't. When you have other things like even like Night Eye, which allows you to see in the darkness, which is pretty good. Then it gets worse, and Blood of Heroes. Blood of Heroes is the thing that breaks the game because you can technically exceed 7 limit on any specific ability. Now, Blood of Heroes does not actually qualify for anything else. So that means you can be a child with the Blood of Heroes and then exceed your own attributes limits because you can just exceed 7. This is painful because you can get a child who is really damn good at things by virtue of spending one of their destiny points to have it. Blood of Andals, Blood of the Wildlings, and you're spending things to do these. You are spending for all of these as well, the same points. Where was the one that I always like? Usually the fighters, the X fighters. You have the sword fighter, axe fighter, bludgeon fighter, brawler. You get the sacrifice bonus dice to deal extra damage. If I have 3, I can sacrifice those bonus dice to immediately do more damage to you and kill you faster, which I'm already rolling for like this. I'm already rolling 4 dice. I can sacrifice that to do 2 additional damage. You're going to make this 6 if you're dedicating yourself to this game. You're going to make that 6. And once that's 6, you're rolling such an absurdly large number of dice, you can just immediately destroy anything. It's like, oh no. Oh, it keeps going. And it just keeps going. That's the funny part. And we're supposed to accept it. And you can also be a water dancer. Even if you select water dancer, you're a bitch. I want you to remember that. Always. So then you have all the social qualities. There are so many different qualities, and you can break all of them in certain ways. Axe Fighters usually Axe Fighter is the really popular one because you can absolutely annihilate your enemies in about 5 seconds with it and chop limbs off with literally nothing they could do against it. You can also Air or House of Air, Head of House or Air. You just get a Valerian Steel Weapon. Valerian Steel Weapons are broke. They're great. I love them. Oh boy, it's Mummer. You get you have the right to make a challenging persuasion check to gain 1d6 silver. No, we don't want that. That's always kind of like the painful part. And they have to put in things like being a skin changer, which you can select at, again, character creation. It's like, oh, god damn it, this should be mystical, this should be scary. It's not. It's really not. Then you get, hey, you want additional points to let you do more things? Oh, wow, look, it's pretty cool. Awesome, really neato burrito. It's cool, you get more destiny points, which does mean you can technically you not have more drawbacks than you have benefits. You could game this as well, get more drawbacks, get more more benefits. Just get more. Who fucking cares? It's great. Where was the one that I always like taking? Because you can really fuck people up with it. Disturbing Habit's really fun. Because Disturbing Habit, it makes you a horrifying individual that people don't want to fight you in those. Bastard Born's usually pretty damn good if you are playing anything other than a actual like wall-based game. Pretty much as long as you are kind of accepting who the character is, doesn't really fucking matter, and you don't have to worry about it. It's awesome. I love it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, break this. Break it all. Some are way worse than others, and some are way good, better than others. But you also need a thing like Ward. You need Ward to make Theon. Okay, now we get to the best part of the entire game. Like, hands down, when people say, hey, what about the Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game? They're not talking about the broke-ass characters. They're not talking about any of that. What they're talking about is this section right fucking here. This is the house and lands creation system. And it is the best goddamn system in this game. And I love it. Because everything is randomized. Everything is cool and interesting. Like, you can roll your starting realm, have different character attributes, have different this defines your game, and I love it for it. Hey, you're from the Western Lands. Hey, you're from the Reach. Hey, you're from the Stormlands. And this immediately is giving you character traits. It's giving you shape attitudes and objectives. I love these kind of systems, and I adore these kind of systems. Hello, phone. Do you want to tell me something now? No? Cool. I love these systems for two reasons. Two very distinct reasons. It gives the players something to invest in. This isn't about, sir, big dick, whatever. It's not about that anymore. No, it's about your castle. It's about your lands with your family. And it's something tangible. It's something there and that you can dump resources in. Because nobody likes getting their stuff taken. Nobody likes getting their land attacked. It's my fucking land. It's my territory. I like it. It's mine. That's what really gets people invested in games, is something that you can have a tie to. And you go through this entire thing. Roll everything. And there have been entire things on TG about this. I wonder if I can actually find Song of Ice and Fire house creation. What if I can? Yeah, like you can even see people, they love this section because it's just cool and it's interesting and Oh, jeez. Unfortunately, the big oof is even this system's a little broke. Yeah, you kind of have to play a little bit of the interpretation game with it. But I liked it. I like the fact that you can roll all these things and gain bonuses. Like, oh, here's some more land. Here's some influence. You know, what's your defense say? What's your influence like? What's your lands like? Even though you can break this pretty badly, and if you roll really well, you can get like right up here for like Greyjoy's land, which is like, that's an absurd amount. Or where was the one that you can like really break? Usually the north, you can get some insane land masses. Just huge amounts of land. And it works, though. Does it do anything? Not really. There's some mechanics, and there's some things to it, but it's not really like a big thing. You get it? That's not the point. No. And it's another one of those things. We adore historical events. So I'm curious. We're going to go on a little bit of a hunt right now. I need to find something. I do know for a fact we're going to go to a TG archive. Nope, that's not what I need. Four plebs. Yeah. Song of Ice and Fire. I remember being in some of these threads. I remember this thread actually quite a bit. It's a good one. A lot of Sifga. Lots of Sifga. But I know I wonder if there's actually one on Quest right now. God bless Quest. No one likes you. This exists. No, I don't think there's any here, actually, unfortunately. 'Tis a shame. But there were full quests being run using this system just because of how thematic it was and how impactful just making simple things were. And yeah, here's your first founding. All your events, all the things that are going on, all the terrible madness undergoing. You understand exactly what you're getting into by the end. And it's insane. Then you buy all your holdings. Like, oh boy, small castles, big castles, halls. You just buy a tower if you want. Influence holding, like all your different heirs, which you somehow have to buy. All the different features, all the different lands, all the costs, including things like towns. You immediately know what your house is like and why you are doing the things that you are doing. And it feels so fucking good. Why does it feel so good? It feels so nice. Every part of it is impactful. And it gives you how to run things. How to make things look nice. How to even randomly doing all of these. Random charts, more items, options, more objects, more things. Allowing you to make your character the way you want. And the house becomes a character unto itself. And that's one of my favorite parts about this game more than anything. Is that the character of the house is huge. You love it. It's yours. It has its own personality, its own problems. And it just keeps going. And just keeps going. You're going to keep... Hope you like items. Because we're going to look at items. But that's really all I can say about the game. Because I like it. And... Oh, and I forgot. Intrigue. So, good news, bad news. This game actually does have a intrigue system for social combat. The social combat is definitely a thing. It's pretty clunky. I'll be the first one to say it. It's clunky, and you need to have... There's a lot of things that go into it. Like, what's your disposition? What's the disposition toward you? What's the different modifiers? You know, is there like a big thing you can do here? Do I gain bonuses with this if I'm like this? But if I'm like this? But if it's like this? People who like the system like it. I didn't, so I rewrote it. And even I don't like my own version. And every single modifier has different... its own unique parts to it, and there's so fucking much, and it's a combat system, alright? It's combat! And you're gonna like your combat system, because this is all you're getting. This is like a huge fundamental part of the experience, and this is also the method, you gotta remember, this is also the method that you, the character, can counter everyone making Gregor Clegane. Because making Gregor Clegane's easy. Making a character that does this system well, very difficult. Unless you don't. And then even then the Gregor Clegane can fuck you over by having just abilities upon abilities or acting like a sociopath. If he acts like a complete sociopath or has his own like personal little finger riding on his back, then things get wrong very quickly. Which... arguably, that's one of the most efficient ways to do things, is to make Gregor Clegane... Oh, wait, I can show that. Is you make Gregor Clegane, and then you have a tiny Tyrion right on his back, and anytime he gets into any threatening conversation with someone, little Tyrion jumps out, stabs a person in their face with his kind words, and makes them go away. More intrigue defenses. No. You do have the quit, fuck this conversation option, which I like it. It works. It is, however, a diplomacy con. It is an intrigue mechanic. Sometimes, oh boy, I like role-playing, but it's also mechanics, and things get a little bit weird, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Combat's pretty basic. I like the combat system. It's fast, it's deadly. And one big thing is health doesn't necessarily mean health. It means your ability to keep fighting. And it works. There's a bunch of weapons, as you can kind of see here, even things that really shouldn't be here, like the fucking arc. Doesn't really need to be here. But it is. It's actually one of the best weapons in the game. But you're fighting, it's good, it works. Nothing more you can really say about it. And that's kind of the unfortunate thing about the entire thing, isn't it? It works, but not much else. Because again, the characters can be broken incredibly easily. And because they can be broken so easily, because they can be absolutely shattered that fast, it makes combat slow down to a crawl at some points. And once you hit that crawl, everything starts breaking down. And once things start breaking down, it stops working. Which was like one of the big things that I had to do as a developer writing Blood, Coin, and Steel was fixing up all of that, making sure that you knew exactly what you were getting into, to make sure that you understood that you were going to enjoy this game. But it was hard. I'll be the first one to say it was almost fucking impossible at points, because it didn't work. That's the comedy value of this entire story, is that trying to make this game work properly was a task because of its nature, and trying to get everything to work properly didn't work sometimes. And that's kind of the sad part about it. But I can't not love it. And I love this game for it, because there's so many options, there's so many parts to this game. It's a fucking mess, but I adore it. This is actually one of my favorite pieces right here. I love it. All the advanced options, all the different stories you can tell with it. Warfare sucks, but everyone knows Warfare sucks in any game. But not much more I can really go over here. Just had some examples of every single fucking part in this game of how it works. And I enjoy it. They also encourage you, like, you can break the game, but please fix it, please. You have all the different rules and different ideas, and here's all the tertiary characters, and here's all the various knights. Oh my god, look at all the knights, it's so many cool things, but it doesn't really matter. Here you go, Merry Christmas. Now, this is where things get interesting. This is my other part that I enjoy about this game. This was before you had anything like the show or any explanation. It was going purely off what the books were saying. They have others in this game. They actually have quite a few different options when it comes to attacks. You know, whites are in here. I wonder, do they actually have... No, they don't. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I actually found my copy. This is the campaign guide. This kind of was the all-encompassing stuff and that does stuff about everything, which is cool. I like it. It goes over literally every single part of the game. But let's take a look at our good friend here. We want to... What, Renly, what are you like? Oh, wait a second. I could beat Renly up in 5 seconds with a decently optimized character. All right, don't worry. We want House Aaron. Who's here in House Aaron? Oh, wait, John Aaron's dead. Ah. How foolish of me. Obviously, we need Edamir. Edamir is one of the best fucking fighters, and he's a pretty good guy. Everyone likes Edamir. He's actually really bad. Like, he doesn't really have anything. He's not actually that well made. But that's something we have to understand, and it's great. And we all gonna clap. All right, everyone, let's clap. Where the light? Do you not have... What book had that in? One of the side books. I usually don't go over to the side books that often, just because you don't really need to. Like, this is what the main system is. Okay. Not gonna lie, this looks terrible, but the art is amazing. The art is fucking amazing. The art is phenomenal, and I love the artwork. It's not a bad game, but it definitely is a game of its time. And that time is very old. It's an older game. And you have to... How do I word this? If you have to accept it for what it is, you have to accept that it's a 2014 game that works, I guess. And it works. It's fun if you play it the way the game wants you to play it. If you don't play it the way it wants you to play it, you're not going to have a good time. Okay, here's the Night Watch book. Night's Watch book is amazing. I love this book to death. Where am I? This actually allows you... This actually gives you option for, you guessed it, making your own castle on the wall, as well as your own wilding tribe. That's one thing I actually really love about this. Because, yeah, you can make your own wildling tribe. Where is it? Ah, yes. Lords of the Long Night. This is what I mean by, you get some cool stuff in this game. This is it. Welcome to the Others. All the different things that the Others can perform. And the King and Queen of Winter. Yeah, you know that dorky looking motherfucker we got in the show? Yeah, no. This is what he looks like. Looks like fucking Arthas. A white lady. And mind you, these guys are strong. These guys are terrifyingly tough. And that's cool. And they're like, oh, here's the Child Taker, who's another other. Another other, or the Huntsman. Like, they give you all these different options for others, because the others were... Nobody knew anything about them, so they had to literally bullshit a bunch of lore about it. So you end up with this, and this isn't canon anymore. None of this is canon, and that sucks. The books in this appendix goes with the rate of non-canon. Yeah. They're like, yeah, they didn't know. And that does suck. No, it does suck a lot. But I love it for its own reasons. Cool, nice artwork. Spear wives. This little fucker. Just, what are you? I'm a sneak. Yeah, you get some... I love the wildling tribe situation, and that's like one of the big things that I ended up doing in my own version of the game, and what I'm assuming what they did for Green Ronin's style of game. Because if we look here in Green Ronin's, if I can press any of the right buttons... Because Green Ronin has this one, Sword Chronicle, Feudal Fantasy Role-Playing, which I'm going to see if I can't find. I'm curious. And I'm interested. I want to see what it is, because this game came out in... let's see. When did you come out? Let's search the web for this. Duh, that's not a good... Okay, let's check drive-through. This is going to be fun. Yeah, this book came out in... Oh, that's not a good sign. 3 out of 3.5. I never noticed this product before today. That's a good sign. Oh no. Oh no. Classes Gritty Fantasy. Uses the Chronicle system. Average... Let's see what the ratings are. Oh, it looks like he liked it. So I think this is like a refinement of the system. For better or for worse. It looks like they still have some issues. Looks like this is a fairly recent game. When's the first comment? When's the first comment? Back in 29. Okay. Here we go. We got some Sword Chronicle questions asked. August 17th of 2020. So this game's about a year old at this point. I've actually never heard of this game before today. So we're on a quest together, everyone. COVID-19. What kind of chronicle system? Game uses was substantially the same system seen in the original Song of Ice and Fire, minus setting of Westeros, as our license for the intellectual property is concluded. Oof. So they can't actually sell this. So, fun fact, they cannot actually sell these books anymore. That's why it wasn't on the website. That's fascinating. I remember them talking about this like a long time ago. Armor is no longer penalized combat defense. Fantasy ancestries. Intrigue. That's good. Oh. Chronicle system. Guild. Community program for content creators. Oh no. Chronicle compatible products. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Mr. Shepard, not like this. So, is this a thing? Please tell me it's a thing. Welcome to the guild. Oh, alright. I mean, there's stuff here at least. Not much, but there's stuff. Ta Vista. Futuristic firearms. What? Foes undead. Oh. Collection of 5 undead types. Oh, Lord. They made a license for it, and there's not even a lot of it. Feel kind of sad. Hi, Varric. Yeah, we're looking... apparently, they made a... Sword Chronicle is based off of this game, A Song of Ice and Fire role-playing, based off this game, but they lost the license to Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, so they could no longer do it. So they released their own version, which is pretty much like a settingless one, but also settinged. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get Sword Chronicle. I'm gonna have to check it out, if only to quickly check to see if I can, if they steal any of my shit for it, because I wrote my version before this shit. I was the original gamer here. God, they're so. But that is what we're gonna. That's that. So, A Song of Ice and Fire role playing. I adore this game. I love its jank. I love its weirdness. I love the fact it barely works. But it's my kind of weird that I enjoy. Because I'm a man of themes, and I'm a man of keeping everything working together. From a purely gameplay standpoint, I adore this game. Actually, no, from a completely designer point of view, I like this game. From a gameplay point of view, game barely fucking works, and I adore it for it. I wish it would be better, but I mean, I have to check out Sword Chronicle for that. But those are 3 games we went over today. RWBY, Stalker, and A Song of Ice and Fire. And the reason I did these 3 in particular was, 1, because RWBY was requested heavily. But mostly, I like the ideas in these games. Does Dragon Age work? Yes, but it is very much a precursor to Fantasy Age. There are parts of that game that do not work the way that it thinks it should, and other parts that do. If you're like, I want to play a Dragon Age game, play it in fucking Fantasy Age if you're hell-bent on it. Don't play it using the Dragon Age version. Because Fantasy Age just fixes it up. But that's always with Green Ronin. Like, here's a cool game we made. Here's also the fixed version that's playable. Don't bring those cursed words here. We don't talk about that game here. This is a wrong think only channel. Thank you very much. We don't support D&D 5e here. But I want to go over these 3 games in particular because there's parts of it I love. And there's one thing that we should always do as both developers and players is look outside things that are traditional or mainstream or even good. Good idea, by the way, for Dungeon Master. Pretty good idea. Because there are games in these you should steal. The Rule of Cool system from RWBY, the dice system, fucking steal it. That's a really interesting idea and really encourages some high octane play. Gut that shit. The Stalker game, read the entire Stalker RPG and fuck the rules. Who needs them? You have a really cool idea. The Fantasy Age is actually pretty good in that regard. You can kind of do a lot with that. That was the point of it. D&D is its own thing at this point, and I'll do that a little bit later. And I love it for it. And look at Song of Ice and Fire for the house creation system, or the ideas behind just skill-only characters. Fascinating stuff. Really cool. I love it. It's awesome. Take what you want. But understand what makes a game fun, and understand what makes a game painful. Because not all the time does a franchise make a game better. Sometimes it kind of holds it back, like the RWBY game or the Stalker game. But that's all I can really say. So let's see. That's my final thoughts there. These games will probably all get a little opinion in one way or another. Well, it depends on actually where Sword Chronicle goes. So now, one thing that's been going on. Give me 1 second. Where do we want to? How do I want to do this? Oh, obviously, I know. Yoink. Here. We'll play some true gamer moves to make sure I don't fucking dox myself like I did last time. Because I'm a fucking idiot that way. Da 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 da. Let me look at fucking games. Okay. Now, I always like looking at Kickstarter. I'd probably make that a staple of this at this point. Just because Kickstarter is important. It's a fact of life that we have to deal with now. And some are good, some are bad. And that's something we gotta 5e. Actually, let's do the 5e count. We got 1 5e game so far. Crystal Punk. Okay, we can do Crystal Punk. We like that. Slaughterville. All right, we're making things. We're making things happen, guys. Wait, COC re-release. Yeah, looking at. Where are you? Where I just saw it. Call of Cthulhu Classic. Yeah, they look like this is the first edition. And it's by Chaosium. So looks like they're just releasing the old books, which I'm down. That seems like fun. Very rainy day. Yep, unsuspecting, unprepared world. Oh yeah, no, it looks like they're bringing back some of the old stuff. I think that'll be interesting. Now, mind you, game has been up for probably a couple hours at this point, and it's already made $222,000. Just keep re-releasing old things, people. Fuck anything. What's the... okay, so to answer all the question, have you read the other, the Expanse RPG? No, my friend wants me to. Chico, yes. I do have a death wish. What's a Kickstarter that just drained me out my soul instantly? The immediate one that killed me physically and emotionally. That was Supers 5e. No, that's not it. Even though that's still, yeah, we'll find it. Don't worry. It's here all right. But it was a superhero 5th edition game that has made to quote $1 gorillion already. And why that disappoints me at a physical and emotional level is because, like, why fucking bother anymore? Like, it's becoming so it was showing me it was just so fucking ubiquitous that I can't get away of it. Get rid of it. Oh, I don't like where this is going. Let me guess, is it 5e? World's most popular role-playing game. 5e number 2 is like, I can't escape 5e. Nothing I do will ever let me escape 5e. Oh, it's a card game. Oh, that's kind of good. Crystal Punk. Let's. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. World of Megalos? Oh, Jesus. Okay, please tell me, what's the system? You have a system, right? You wouldn't be launching a game with no system, would you? Called Slipstream. Pool of D20. Okay, we got a cool game. Okay, I'll look at that later. Let's see. Let's see some other odd ones. We got a Ghost Hunter RPG. Okay, that's cool. That's just a Euro. That's just a Euro game. Oh Jesus, Euros. And I like Kickstarter shows you kind of what's popular now and what's getting big. But like the most soul crushing one was at one point there were like 4 5e games that were the exact same fucking thing. All of them had made like 200 grand. It was just so disheartening, I would say. It's like why bother anymore? Like like once that popped up, it felt like nothing fucking mattered. Oh, 5th edition superhero RPG. Wait a second, this is a completely fucking different one. This is a different 5e Supers game. No. No, of a level 20 character. Oh, God. Fuck. Fuck. This is what I mean by it's disheartening, because it's just like this is another one. I thought this was a completely different game. It's not. It's always the same. It's always the same. At least Epic Spell Wars is getting a 2nd edition. We like Epic Spell Wars. Oh wait, there's a spellbook Kickstarter. No, there isn't. Oh wait, that just funded. There's another 5e game. Oh wait a second. Okay, that's an OSR game. All right, we can get away with that. OSR game's good. We like OSRs. But yeah, no, that's. It's disheartening. It's awful, and I feel bad anytime I see it. It's not even like a. It's like I don't hate you for what you're doing. I hate you for the fact that you are producing the exact same shit. Oh, oh yeah, Fat Magic. Yeah, don't worry. I saw Fat Magic. Fat Magic exists. I saw this the other day. I'm like, this is a meme, right? Like this isn't real. And no, Fat Magic is real, and it's food. It's food magic. Like food magic. At least it hasn't made its fit. At least it hasn't made its goal. That makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Not much, but a little bit. Even though Any World here has yet to make any of its fucking money, and it's still got 27 days to go, though. I might take a look at this, see what I can find about it. But oh, there's Tavern Rules, and now they're fucking 5 ebook. 1000% funded. What, €200 goal. Now, this is one thing I've also noticed. Oh god, I don't like this. I don't feel really... Don't stop that. Stop that right now. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, Zon. Stop it. Stop posting these cursed images. Like, what I've been noticing a lot of the time is that the Kickstarter guys have been very fascinating recently. I don't know if this is just like a weird trend going on now because someone else did. But what people are doing is they're doing like a really low goal, like €200 or something. €200 isn't actually that much. But what'll happen is someone will don't like if they hit, let's say, €2,000, it immediately shows that they've reached like 1,000% of their Kickstarter goal. They don't need €200. That's the thing. They don't need this amount. They need this. However, Kickstarter is now seeing, oh, it's 1,000% funded. So when people go to look through things like, oh, what's already funded, they see this. It's automatically, oh, wait, it's 1,000% funded already. So it's safe. It's perfect. It's fine. And I hate that. I hate it. Despise it. Because it's like, oh, God. GM kit for random encounters. What the hell? Oh. Random encounter products. Oh, boy. Buy game, get more product. Get up, Notepad. We gotta... Like, these guys, I fucking hate this. No, because the thing is, that's the paradoxical thing about this to start. This is the paradoxical thing. Is Kickstarter, the threat of Kickstarter is that they won't make their goal, you don't get what you paid for. That's the paradoxical existence. So what happens is games that are already funded, games that are already funded or things that are already funded get more funding than those that aren't. Because if you have more funding, more people feel secure in buying more things with it because they know it's going to come out. That's the paradoxical thing. So you end up with things like this, Gloria the Verdant Way. This was a $9 goal. $9. After this, after I get done going through all these things, I'm going to go downtown, and probably get a coffee or something, or get lunch that will be more than this fucking entire Kickstarter was. But they raised $3,609. $3,609 is, oh wow, look, it's 40,000% funded. 40,000% funded. You look at anything like percent funded, it's going to be the first thing up there. Also, just to prove that I'm not going insane, this is the one that kind of broke me. Superhero Roleplaying 5th edition. Superhero RPG. These are literally the exact same fucking game, except these guys haven't made their money yet. But there's already $8,000 into it. This game has been up for like 2 days. $8,000. These guys made $28,000. They only needed $3,000 for their goal. These guys need $30,000 for some fucking reason. This is what I mean. This is the insane part about this entire thing. This is what breaks me about the fucking Kickstarter. And I hate it. Because it hurts. And like there's so many, and then it's like, oh, here's the Tome of Wands. This is literally an entire book full of fucking wands. That's it. It's only fucking wands. Do you like wands? Cool. This is literally all you're getting for it. How much money has it made? $3,000 of 2.5. Where's this money fucking going? I don't know. Who knows? Nobody does. Don't get me started on riffs. Actually, why is it so high? They only needed, like, what, 3,000? Yeah. It's to cock and ball 5e setting. Yeah, cock and ball torture. You mean CBT, according to the Wikipedia, the online online encyclopedia. Like, it's what I've been noticing is that, like, optimally speaking, the most efficient way to use Kickstarter at this point is to already have your Kickstarter done by the time you start it. Because you want everyone to donate real quick so you get put up there really high, and you have a higher chance of saying Kickstarter project we love. Because if you get a Kickstarter project we love, you get featured faster. Like, that's what the game, that's the game, that's the meta right now on Kickstarter, is over optimization, and that is kind of, I don't know about you, that's kind of goes against the spirit of Kickstarter in my opinion. But some of them haven't gone anywhere. Like Byte's not, I don't think Byte's going to make it. It's only 55% unless it gets like a massive amount of money right away. You also get some like Heck and Hound, like you get a lot of these different games, and like I'm not gonna like complain about them. It just is like, oh, okay, this is fine. Also, oh boy, oh my boy, Vinegar Satanus, Vinegar fucking Satanus. Oh boy, we're gonna be looking at you, sir, because you are a fascinating creature. He actually commented on one of my videos. He is a fascinating creature, and we're gonna be looking at him one of these days. We're gonna be looking at Alpha Blue, I think his big game is called. Like, this fucker is everywhere, and I love him. He is such a weird fucking dude. Like, these are all the games that he's kickstarted. Like, oh yeah, Alpha Blue, Sexual Predator. Yeah, Kobayashi Maroon and Sexual Predators. That's a game that he put on Kickstarter and got away with. Girls Gone Rogue, Universal Exploits. Like, I can... This is Alpha Blue. We're going to be looking at Alpha Blue. Like, we're going to be looking at this because it makes me feel sadness. Nothing but sadness. But this man is a fascinating creature. We're definitely going to be looking at him. Also, there's another 5e game. Do not look at the 5e game. Look, it cannot hurt you. Like, some of these games make it, some of them don't. But we'll look at Itch now. Itch.io, you also get another wonderful helping of fucking weird shit. This is my new favorite. We're going to be looking at Lumen games one of these days as well. Because I've learned every single thing is powered by fucking Lumen now. Everyone is Lumen. You are Lumen. I'm Lumen. That's what I was asking about it the other day, because I wanted to know more about it. Low-tech anti-capitalist power fantasy. Why? But why? Here's a Discord LARP. A Discord-based LARPing game for $10. Like, I adore these games. I adore Itch because sometimes I feel physical and emotional pain anytime I look through these. Because some of them are like, why are you paying $10 for this? Like, this one actually has like looks like something going on with it. Because usually these games are like 40 kilobytes. It's like a single page, $5. I'm like, well, okay. This is one that throws me for a loop. Galaxy 2E. This is what the game is. Yeah, also, I'm not paying. I think I actually got this for free because I'm a terrible human being. Yeah, welcome to the game. This is a diceless game. Also, it's $3. It's awesome. You like paying $3 for a game that's not even the real full game? Yeah. Sure, fuck it. Go ahead. Hey, everything's fine. Or play a Discord LARP being on Discord. Yeah. world building games, like you get a lot of these. Here's Glitter Hearts. Don't worry, Glitter Hearts. Yeah, here's Galactic 2E. I got this for free. You should all totally take community copies. Wink. This is $15. I'll give you a hint what the game looks like. Because, again, I have literally no sense of right or wrong. So, this is Galactic 2E. It is 26 pages. And you may be saying, okay, there's got to be some art or there's going to be some cool stuff here. No. Zip. $15. Pay it. This is where you are. This is where your $15 is going. This, that. Scruffy from Futurama. Androgynous brown person. Because remember, there are only androgynous brown people and old white men. Ah! Free me from this nightmare. I can't escape. Why is it $15 for 3 megabytes? I wouldn't care as much if there was like something going on with it. Wouldn't care. That's $1 a megabyte. I mean, there's stuff going on at Glitter Hearts. It's not good stuff, but it's there. But yeah, I have this game, by the way, Quiet Life. Got that for free. Fuck yeah, I did. Princess with this is one of these. One of these days, I need to go through some of these just because I find them fascinating. These are story games about it's journaling. It's a journaling game, and I'm like, all right. I was fascinated in them because there are a lot. There's a lot of them, but all of these have such fascinating amounts of things. Also, did someone put everyone as John on here? Okay, thankfully he doesn't have to pay for it. I would be so fucking pissed if someone did that. Fucking someone's getting the gun. Let's see. I mean, it's Weird West Incursion, Trophy Dark. Like you get a lot of these games, and some of them are actually pretty decent. Like something about pretty cool. I'm like, oh hey, Echo Punk isn't a thing, but it is a thing now, I guess. Oh hey, here is, a fucking card game. Here's a cool game about rats, and this I know this one was. This game is actually brought to you by Shut Up and Sit Down, actually. This was published by them, which I thought was actually kind of interesting. It looked cool, not my kind of game, but alright. There's Beam Saber for 30 fucking bucks. Ugh. This is cool. I saw this the other day. I'm like, this is awesome. Literally, it's an Only War and published by Cubicle 7 of Trauma Surgery and narrative game of Trauma Surgery. Wait. What? No. We'll worry about that. So yeah, this is cool. I like it. It works. You're playing the player. See this. You should totally support this guy as well because these games is really cool. And it's literally Filipino mechs. I'm cool. I like it. This is things I like. I like finding cool things. Unfortunately, here's Pokemon the pen and paper version. Hopefully you like it. That's how much it costs. Poetry RPGs. Why there's so much garbage? Why is it always queering space-time? Oh. Okay, I got a question for the ladies in the chat. For the ladies in the chat, why lesbians? Yeah, what's with lesbians? Answer that question for me. That's what I'm curious about. It's always lesbians when it comes to, like, anytime someone says, oh, this is a queer game, it's always fucking lesbians. It's never... It's like, oh, it's time for, like, queer representation. It's always about the women. Always women. Yeah, only gay dudes aren't profitable. Damn it, that's what I'm writing an entire game about those right now. And I guess you're right, because it's always the same thing. I always find that fascinating. It's like, oh boy, like, oh, look, I do give them this, at least they put Latina instead of Latinx. Black. Sorry. Janeth. Chinese. Biromantic. Huge space nerd. Space nerd. Buffness. I also like buffness being an option. Oh, Lord. And, like, this is the shit you find on good old goddamn itch.io. I always like going through it. You do find some cool things like Duckborg. Lasers and Feelings is still garbage, and anyone who thinks Lasers and Feelings is good and should be sold for anything is a fucking idiot. We also have Your Quarantine with Adam. Yeah, why does this exist? Who knows? That is my life. This is what I have to deal with. Megachi representation. Yeah, no, it's I'm already having to work about that. It's getting there, but I think it's important we go over these things. I think it's important that we talk about odd games that shouldn't exist, but do, because people are odd. That's why you get things like Jews in space. This is what we get at the end. We get Jews in space, and we're gonna have to live with this. I'm gonna sit right here and let us worry about it together. We also get this. We'll worry about you later, SCP. But thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. Hope you all had a fun time. If things are going poggers, we'll actually be doing a stream later tonight. Much later tonight, probably, which will be me working on a game for the GDG Game Jam. For that, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So thank you all. I will see you maybe later tonight. Maybe I won't. Who knows? We live in an egoist nightmare. Do as you will. I can't control you. I am away.